Alright, so this is going to be my video project for Hurricane Wilma, which is the storm that I selected, that Mr. Monty gave me a chance to select. So here we go. Anyone that's really my age or in that area probably really would never remembered it because I was a baby and it occurred in 2005, which is the year that I was born. But it was one of the most powerful hurricanes to hit South Florida in a very long time, and West Palm Beach was directly in the middle of its path. And honestly, I don't really remember a thing, but my mom has like a bunch of stories on how bad it was and what she had to do when the power was out when I was a baby. So the storm began as an area of low surface pressure off the coast of Jamaica around the 14th of October, which is unusual. Usually they form off the coast of Africa, but this formed kind of late. By the next day, the disturbance was already labeled a tropical storm, and it remained a tropical storm for several days before a really quick intensification took place, and it caused it to transform into a Category 5 hurricane in less than 24 hours. Around this time, the meteorologist measurements revealed that this hurricane had the lowest air pressure out of any hurricane ever recorded, with the pressure being 882 millibars at its lowest point. It continued to move northwest across the Gulf of Mexico and first made landfall on the Yucatan Peninsula in October 24th, 2005. And then, once it hit land at the Yucatan Peninsula, it weakened, obviously, when it hits land. And then, it bounced right back to Florida across the Gulf. And by the time it reached South Florida, it went across the Gulf and it strengthened back to a Category 3. And the most reliable source I could find, which is my mom, because she's my mom, I really found out like a bunch of cool stuff that she did, or not cool stuff, but interesting things. Our specific power grid was knocked out for like 11 days after it hit our area, and in that time I was a baby and I was still drinking milk, so she used palm fronds and like sticks and other stuff like that to heat up the water for this specific use, and among other things. But other people my mother knew at the time had their outages for almost a month. And so I'm really thankful my mom didn't have to go through that. But what's even more interesting is she remembers the eye of the hurricane passing through, and there were clear skies and cars out on the road. But she knew better than to go outside the house. She knew that the eye passed over our area, and she knew to stay inside even though it was really calm. Because usually the worst part of the hurricane is like the second part of the eye wall. So she's really knowledgeable about hurricanes, and she remembers cars getting caught up when the eye passed over, and it wouldn't have been fun for those people that got caught up on the road and stuff like that, trying to get home in a giant hurricane. But overall, Hurricane Wilma was one of the bigger storms to hit Florida recently, big enough to knock out the entire grid, at least my grid, for 11 days. It was cake for me, though, because my mom told me I slept the entire time, like 11 days straight, literally. So we're good. That's my video project.